Hey guys, welcome back to the Untitled Marvel Project. I'm your host, Hannah Dykstra, along with my illustrious and foundational host, Tucker
Sure.
Hazel.
Let's go with that.
We're here to talk about The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 5, the big cameo episode, everybody, the penultimate episode. It's wild. Things are building up to a head. We got some wild stuff in this. Did we? We'll talk about it. This is a spoilers episode show of Untitled Marvel Project. Also, make sure to like and subscribe to this because you love Marvel content, we love Marvel content, and we're here to talk about it.
It's
So,
true.
Tucker, what did you think about Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 5?
I thought this was a great episode. I think it continued some of the energies that we were feeling earlier in the show, building a lot of character dynamics, fleshing out the world, introducing, side plots and strengthening bonds, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot less action heavy, a lot less globe-trotting heavy, which were some of the aspects of the middle episodes that I was like, oh yeah, this is fine, but it feels a little bit generic.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad we got back to that. But as we're going to touch upon, there was an aspect of this episode that felt slightly underwhelming to us.
Yeah. I felt the same way. I think this is probably the high point of the series, I'd say. Obviously because we're leading up to the final episode next week. But let's get into the weeds and the details of this episode, starting with, like I said, this is the big cameo episode. Showrunner of Falcon and the Winter Soldier said that this episode would have a huge cameo. It was gonna blow our minds. People were gonna lose it. All right. And it was Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Madame Hydra or Contessa de la
She had a lot of
something.
names.
She said a lot of names to introduce herself, and they were all equally confusing. But I looked one of them up, and she's Madame Hydra.
Yeah.
So there's that.
And sort of that's our opinion on the whole thing is that's that. I mean, for a couple reasons, it's a little bit underwhelming. Not only because someone somewhere said that this cameo would make us cry.
I think that might have been a mixed signal thing because I looked that up somewhere else, and he said the showrunner said the whole episode would make us cry. It's where things get real.
Okay.
Is what they said.
Well, I mean, there certainly were some more down to earth emotional moments. The
Yeah.
conversation with Isaiah Bradley was certainly one of the more emotional moments of the entire show. And also, let's just put it out there, I'm so happy he came back for another episode.
Yes.
I was just gonna be upset. I want to choose my words wisely. If they used Isaiah Bradley as a one-off, like, oh, yep, there's a Black Captain America at one point. But they brought him back. They gave him a lot more personality. They introduced an interesting conflict between him and Sam. Telling Sam that no self-respecting Black man would ever want to be Captain America. And now, Sam has to come to terms with like how he feels the legacy is versus what Isaiah wanted him to do, stuff like that. So that was a great aspect of this, and certainly the most emotional aspect. But seeing an actor that we know show up, say a bunch of names, and have us Google this character that we're not familiar with, not very impactful, to be honest. Her scene was not very long. She kind of just babbled a bunch of stuff, and also just means that yay, we got to deal with Hydra again. Hydra's back. We
were talking some speculation with a friend of ours, and he said that she would be like the Nick Fury of the Dark Avengers or the Thunderbolts, if they're maybe combining those two teams to be something.
Yeah.
Obviously, she recruited their Captain America figure, John Walker, who's making his own.
Wait, she did?
Yeah, she's like, call me.
She's like, I'm stupid. Oh God,
yeah.
Yes, you're right.
And then he's like, there's nothing on the card.
Yeah, that was a bad line.
John Walker is, of course, building his own ramshackle made of spare parts Captain America shield, which is pretty cool, I guess.
But I mean, he got a lot of interesting stuff in this episode as well. He was captured by Sam and Bucky. He broke Sam's wings, so now presumably Sam has a set of Wakandan-made wings, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
He got some development through that. He was exonerated as a member of the U.S. military in an interesting scene with the government. He visited Lamar Hoskins' family. There's a lot of stuff in this episode that was building out his character and the ramifications of what happened to him after he snapped and killed someone.
Really building out his villain arc.
Well, I mean,
it is. He is. There's no denying from here on out that he's going to be a villain.
Well, I don't necessarily think that I think you're thinking of it too black and
He's
whitely.
being recruited to the Dark Avengers, Tucker. How else can you go
We'll
about
see.
justifying this?
We'll see how it goes.
Tucker, that's clearly something they're
Let's
setting
wait
up.
to the end of Phase 5 and then
Oh,
okay?
okay, all right, all right. But yeah, Sam's Wakandan. Here's the thing, though: are they wings, or could it be Tucker? Could it be? I guess he was training with the shield. I was gonna because when he set down the case, I'm like, it could be wings, or you remember that weird looking shield that Captain America had in Infinity War,
Yeah,
like
like the two little ones.
the black pointed ones. It could be. I thought it could be some of those, but
Well,
probably wings.
yeah, but that holds no iconic value. It was just because they didn't know where the shield was at that point, or they didn't have access to it. Um, no, it's not that. It's
Well,
definitely gonna be
I
wings
thought it could be. I thought they could be trying to like circumnavigate the Sam being Captain America thing because of the interaction he had with Isaiah Bradley.
by giving him pointy shields.
Yes,
Well, that'd be a little underwhelming.
maybe. It probably would be, but it's just something that crossed my mind.
Yeah,
Because we never see them. We don't see them in
that's
this
true.
episode.
Because the end of the episode is him gazing
Mm. As
stoically
the
down at the open case.
as the Flag Smashers take over a GRC conference on or vote on relocating refugees.
Yeah. So that's gonna be
Uh,
the central conflict of the next episode.
absolutely. Yeah.
Last episode.
Last episode. What else did we get this episode? We got some. Bucky didn't get as much screen time as
Yeah.
Sam, but we had some fun buddy stuff with them hanging out at Sam's house and their boat, and they're fixing it up, and there's some funky music playing. They're having a grand old time. It was
Yeah.
great. I love it.
And we got a lot more interaction with Sam and his sister, building out their relationship a little bit more, and Sam's place in his family and his community and stuff like that. So I thought that was great. I really, I I thought the training montage with Sam was fun. I think it went on a little too long.
Yeah,
and there was some unnecessary slow motion.
There was some some really cool side flips and back flips.
There was, yeah, he did a lot of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he certainly threw that shield a lot of times.
Yeah, he surely did
a bunch.
He ran a bunch.
Flippity dippity.
Some flippity dippity. So for the next episode, okay, so I think that Sam flies up to New York. Bucky's already there because he's making amends with his old guy friend from like the first few episodes.
Yep.
So that's how they're gonna team up in that final episode. So Tucker, where do you think it goes from here? Do you think is it cemented in now that Sam is gonna become Captain America?
Well, I think by the end of the episode, it'll have to come to terms with that, and as hopefully it doesn't end on like the climax there. I mean, we didn't get a ton of after, what I'm trying to think of, just whatever happens after the final battle. We didn't get a ton of that in WandaVision, and I hope they spend a little more time on that in this show to
like
see
epilogue.
Sure, yeah, sure. Epilogue is a good word to go for it. But the world reacting to the GRC being attacked, the Flag Smashers being torn down or supported, who knows? Like, there's a lot of stuff here that I want to see the ramifications of, and one of those being him being Captain America in that scene, in that fight, and then the world sort of being like, holy shit, there's a new Captain America, and it's the Falcon. So I'd love to see a little bit of that, but I do think I of course think it ends with that.
Yeah. Bucky though, what do you think happens with Bucky at the end of the next episode? It's hard to say. It's really hard. Does he just go into retirement or?
I mean, yeah, that's a definitely interesting one because he is technically super duper old. He's like over 100.
Yeah.
But also Sebastian Stan's a strapping young lad.
He's probably like 38 or something.
Yeah.
He's got some Marvel years left in him. But also years ago, I remember hearing that they signed him on for a 6-picture deal. And I don't know if he's reached that yet or not.
This might be the 6th project.
I think it was
3
after
Captain
Winter
America
Soldier.
movies, 2 Avengers movies. And
no, I think 6-picture deal was after Winter Soldier.
Does this count as a picture?
I
have no idea.
They might have renegotiated. They might have signed him on for more because that was
easily.
before...
But also, if they got plans for the character, he's gonna come back.
Yeah.
Marvel's at the point where contracts don't mean jack diddly anymore.
They can get Julia Louise Dreyfus. All right.
Yeah.
They got all the money in the world
for an underwhelming cameo.
For an underwhelming cameo as Madam Hydra, and it's really confusing as to where that will go in the future.
Yeah.
Dark Avengers, Thunderbolts. That'd be really cool. I don't know. Here's the thing, though. I don't know when they're going to insert that into this larger story. Like, what movie are the Dark Avengers going to be a part of? What TV show?
Yeah.
You know?
There's a lot building into a story that a larger narrative that we're not familiar with yet. We have no idea what's going on. And honestly, that's kind of fun because we spent the last 11 years leading up to Thanos, to Endgame, to the Infinity Saga, and now there's something else building out there, and we don't know what it is, but I'm sure the seeds are being planted in ways that we're not able to pick up on yet because we don't have the foresight, which is exciting. So even though I'm a little bit underwhelmed that okay, Hydra's back, okay, this was the cameo and it wasn't very mind-blowing for me, Kevin Feige's got a plan, and I'm sure it's gonna have some creative spin. It's gonna play into one of the events in an interesting way. So I'm setting my expectations properly. Is that it's probably gonna be good, regardless.
Sure. Yeah. And speaking of good, this is a pretty good episode.
It was, yeah.
I think we tackled most of the things. There's a lot of talking back and forth. We talked about the Isaiah Bradley stuff. That was really interesting to build out his backstory as well, and his interaction with Sam.
Eli got another line. I don't think they're doing Patriot. I don't think. I think so. I think it's just a fun thing unless Sam gets his own Captain America series.
Which that could be
at that point, he could also deal with Joaquin. Like there's a bunch of stuff here that is possibilities, but also I think. I kind of hope at some point that they're not setting up so many characters. I think Easter eggs is also fine.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool if Sam Wilson gets his own Captain America series and he's Captain America and Joaquin Torres is Falcon and Eli Bradley is Patriot. He's got like his Captain America team with him.
Well, so in the Sam Wilson Captain America series, both. That's the appearance of Joaquin and his start into being a character, and also it's the start of the second Patriot, Rayshawn Lucas, who's not a very interesting character. I'm not a huge fan of him, but there is a series of adventures that the three of them go on.
That'd be cool.
But
maybe Bucky's there too. Who's to say?
Who's to fucking say? But honestly, I think this episode was nice to have. It's nice to have a slower episode, one to fill out the characters a little more, one to actually give Sam and Bucky a time to bond, time to not just be in action all the time.
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
if you will.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that pretty well sums up our thoughts on the episode, and I'm excited for the last episode. If only to get to Loki next.
That's true. Oh shit! Oh, it's gonna be great. I'm so excited for it. That trailer's so good.
It's a great trailer. But yes. We'll get to all that and more in due time, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
I'm bringing the energy today.
All right, here we go.